Title IX has affected my journey enormously. First of all, I know that I would not have had the opportunity to be the first head athletic trainer, not only for this institution, but the first female African American athletic trainer in all of California university system. And I know that would not have happened if it were not women who went before me, people like Julie Max, who was the head athletic trainer at Cal State Fullerton. If they had not been protected and given opportunities through Title IX, there's no way that I would have been able to just walk into situations without all those stresses that Title IX prevented. One of my biggest inspirations is to watch the students that I had a hand in, at least the foundation of their education, just to see them blossom and prosper and advance in sports medicine. My name is Willda Jarrett, and I actually grew up here at Cal State Dominguez Hills professionally. I started here when I was 23 years old, and I just stumbled into a teaching position. I worked here for about 10 years as the head athletic trainer, and then I had an opportunity to be the senior women's administrator. I found out that that was not for me. I enjoyed the interaction with the athletes, the student athletes. So after 2 days, I resigned. They let me come back to my position, and I stayed here. I was here from 1986 until 2000. And I currently have returned to Cal State Dominguez Hills Kinesiology as a retired annuitant, teaching sports medicine and health and wellness classes. I was first introduced to the idea of athletic training, like a lot of athletic trainers, by stumbling literally into the profession. I sprained my ankle and I was carried to the athletic training facility where Al Boyd was then the head athletic trainer. And it was just like a light bulb came on, and I was just like, whoa, this is what I want to do. And you know, my injury got better, finished out the season. I asked him if I can be an athletic training student. And he said, well, I've never had a female, but sure, come on. And that was the end of that. He could have said no, and I didn't know anything about Title IX at that point. If he would have just said no, I just would have went in another direction and did whatever. But he said yes, and it also let me know that I needed to say yes. And I'm just happy that somebody gave me a chance, said yes, and I was able to do the same thing for others. When I started out as an athletic trainer, there were not many African Americans, especially in California. So I had an African American mentor her name was Cassandra Taylor, and she was actually the first Black athletic trainer in the community college system. And my head athletic trainer at Riverside City College, where he allowed me to come in and work football. I was the first female athletic training student to work football, and he allowed me to come in, and then he just took me under his wing and introduced me to so many people. For many years, the late 80s, throughout probably the mid 90s, it was just Cassandra and I as the Black females. People would mix us up because it was just two of you. Are you Cassandra or are you Wilda? Which one are you, right? And that has changed because people saw us and they saw me and they said, whoa, if she can do this, then I can do it too. So since then, since the mid 90s, especially from the people that I have had a hand in teaching or training or mentoring, advising, counseling, there have been so many, and I tell them I'm jealous of you guys, because back in the day it was just me, especially on the 4-year university level, it was just me, and it was fine. But it does feel good when you see someone that looks like you, talks like you, whatever the situation is, you just don't feel as alone. And then you see these people who are just like, whoa, if they can do it, then I can do it too. Some of the challenges that I experienced came primarily in my early career. And that was because a lot of the athletes, especially the male athletes, were not used to seeing women of color. I worked a lot of professional basketball, semi-pro leagues and things like that. And the question was always, why are you here? Are you trying to get a man? It was like, I'm here because I am a professional and I'm trying to provide a service, and it has nothing to do with me trying to get a man or not. Would you ask a man why they were here? So that was one of my biggest challenges. They wouldn't take me serious at first until I proved that I was here and was capable of doing the job just as well as any man. There came a point of time where I did endure some workplace stress, and it got pretty serious. And when I decided that I was not going to be treated like this, I realized that Title IX was my saving grace. And it was because of Title IX that the administration had to pay attention to what I was saying, because there were laws that protected women like me who were being outright discriminated against, and Title IX said no. So I was able to use that avenue to get the school's attention that this is not something that we want to do. When I was a student at RCC, I think I mentioned before that Al Boyd introduced me to Tony Russo, and somehow or another he was connected with the U.S. track and field system. And he invited me to just go to track meets after track meets after track meets. When I first started out at Riverside City College, all of my role models were men. I hadn't really met a woman until I met Cassandra Taylor and Gail Weldon. Gail Weldon was at the time the head athletic trainer at UCLA, and that was way back in obviously the early 80s when I met her. And she ended up opening a clinic. She was duly credentialed as a physical therapist and athletic trainer. So she allowed me to, across the course of maybe track season, to come to her clinic and shadow her at track meets, and that's where you learn. Originally you learn by observation. So she was considered, Gail Weldon was considered one of the great pioneers in athletic training. But if it wasn't for people like her sharing the wealth and spreading knowledge, because sometimes I have met people that are quite territorial and they don't want to share because they want all the attention on them. And you have this group of students who are eager beavers, eager to learn, but you want to keep it all so that people look to you instead of teaching them so that the student athletes will go to them. She was not like that. She was very inviting and very encouraging and just very supportive. I know that we have such a strong base of women in this field. I feel very proud in knowing and very confident in knowing that they are going to do a great job. And a lot of them, they're trying to do a good job to make us proud. They're trying to carry on what we taught them. And they're even happy that people are looking at them now. It's like it's generational. I think women will lead us into the future of athletic training by continuing to maintain the standards and the integrity ethically. But I just think that if we just continue to stick to the grind, stay professional, know who we are and why we're here as healthcare workers, we can continue to carry on. I would be remiss if I did not give a huge word of gratitude and appreciation to the California State University Dominguez Hills Athletics Department for allowing me to come back home to where my career started 37 years ago. Also to Gary Vitti, Tom Abdenauer, Dr. Kai Kugler, and Andy Paulin, thank you for being champions for the promotion, support, and inclusion of women in athletic training. This is a profession where hard work is necessary, a good sense of humor is necessary, being ethical and honest and having good morals is necessary. We need men. We need the support of men. I would not be where I am today without the support of men. But because this is one of those professions that women are excelling in, they are the future. I think that these women, the young professionals of today, they are going to keep the fire burning, and one day it could be a bonfire. My name is Willda Jarrett. Thank you so much for watching the CATA Title IX video series.